obviously you have relationships and conversations with the moguls of the moguls, but who are some of like the business people that you know watch, model, or still gain from or refer to when as you trying to grow and build your empire?
Well, you can gain inspiration from anywhere, right? But
Truth.
I try to I look at Steve Allen. I mean, Steve Harvey. I look at Byron Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look at the people that have. Angie inspired me early when I was on some underground rapper shit, and I was just seeing what Angie was doing. I was like, Angie's smoking this shit on some broadcast, living well, getting coin, having a family, and just raising, like, she's making that shit look good. So, I mean, I was getting inspiration just from anywhere. Ack inspires me daily. Daily, I'm still amazed at how somebody sits there and records for that amount of time passionately without missing a beat. I don't have to fuck with everything that's being said, but goddamn, that's inspiring. Judge Judy, when she was cracking them niggas, Judge Judy for 27 seasons, nigga, $3 million a pop, whatever. Anytime I sit down, that's fire.
That's crazy.
Fire.
Yeah.
I'm watching what Stephen A. is doing. I just try to watch the field. I just try to watch the field. All of this shit is inspiring to me.
G, did you ever have like a like, I think it's slept on, like, I guess like being like having a personal relationship with somebody who's in their 40s that look like us, that got paid, like they got bread. Have you ever, like, did you have? I know I didn't.
Let me
None
say,
of the older guys in my people have.
Let me say this. I think, I actually never talk about myself, but I think one of the things about me that I've always felt like helped give me an edge in my life was I always felt like I picked great role models and mentors. So to that point, coming up in the league, watching, learning under, training with Bobby Wagner, Richard Sherman, KJ Wright. Shout out to KJ. KJ texted me. KJ linebacker coach was Smith, right? Why did KJ text me before the game, bend your knees? I said, cuz, bro, can you stop chomping my man? But pause, by the way, Joe. I know that's football talking.
No, it's all right. I know you're on some football shit.
Yeah, but so like obviously B Wags, because like to be honest with you, like Bobby himself, like he's taught me not only a lot about just how to be a great player, but also what it means to be a leader. Like what is the cost of that? Dealing with the different dynamics and I guess relationships and how you help grow and build that in the room. He also has really taught me a lot about how to handle stuff off the field. B Wags does a ton off the field. He just opened his own franchise. Shout out to B Wags. He just opened his own franchise, Crumble in Seattle. I mean, he's one of those guys that's actively trying to be a owner when he's done. On top of him, obviously, 10-time All-Pro and all that other crazy stuff, Super Bowl champion. And I will also put Joe into that conversation as well. Like, stepping into this new media podcasting, phase of our lives. And, as Trenches begins to grow and we build our community, having somebody like Joe to lean on, to follow, to help shape and, bounce ideas off of, I think makes a great difference. So I always feel like but that's why we talk also too in the building. I think it's just like when you could tell how we've been in the building long enough, Speed, that you could tell how a young boy career gonna go based off the vet that he follows.
Yeah.
Like we didn't had young boys that like had talent and been like had a lot of potential and they following the wrong nigga. Like you running behind cuz that go out 3 times a week that'll never know his assignment, that's always hurt. Like he don't even go to rehab. That's the dude you following. So guess who you gonna end up becoming?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's the same way. I mean, shout out to my OGs that that helped me through. Shout out to Pierre Desir. Shout out to Clayton Gather. Shout out to Najee Good. Shout out to the guys in the building that taught me how to be a pro, how to learn how to lead, how to work through the building and stuff like that too. So I always think that's a big thing. That's why every time I talk to somebody that's extremely successful, I always want to know like who is your mentors? Who are you looking to check in with? Because I feel like who you follow and who you I don't know who you aspire to be, that kind of almost is who you end up becoming.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm adding Dave Chappelle to my list.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle's my favorite by far.
He's him.
Yeah.
He's him. Outside of his comedic genius, just the stance he took, when he took it, the ability to go away, to be all right with disappearing. I think so many people lack that today. Everybody need to be seen and heard. His ability to just go away, not give a fuck about nothing, and I'll rebuild it when I come back and be worth more than ever. Come on, man, stop playing with him.
Yeah, that's different. Walk away from it too.
Yeah, if you love something, you got to be able to leave it. I truly feel like that. You have to be able to leave it and then just see what happens.
Joe, obviously, like leaning on like the same concept, man. Like how, and I know obviously he's come on the pod. You guys have talked before, but like, how has that relationship been in terms of developing your own brand, or those conversations been with a guy like Steve Stout? Because I know you guys.
Oh man, Steve is another one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the reason I asked that is because you hear about Stouts, like everything he did with music, but not only that, like he always talked about transcending, right? Going into different pockets, doing different things. Like how, I guess, was he, like you said, was he one person that you was like, I sit down and I craft with, or I'm pulling from, or we have conversations about things?
We have plenty of conversations.
Yeah.
Steve is so next level, though. I always feel like those guys that are next level, they're going to guard some of it.
Yeah.
They have to. That's how they keep the
They're
spot.
going to guard some of it. Some of it you'll have to go learn on your own.
Sure.
But I'm watching you and I'm monitoring you because you might crack the code and get there, little nigga, with your little work ethic you're doing. But Steve is one. Shit, Larry Jackson, another one. I'm blessed in a way. I'm blessed in a way that all of the like music industry titans and like moguls, like the real ones, I have some type of relationship with most of them and can and do speak to them when I see these people and when I need them. Like I always say, the Def Jam that I was in was a building full of titans. It's Kevin Lowndes and Leor and fucking just everybody that was there. And then Hove comes, and then L.A. Reid comes, and then Shakir, it's Tina Davis. And I'm naming music people, but these are people that are still in powerful seats today.
Media.
Julie, even though Julie is going through what she's going through. But yeah, it's just people that hold very powerful seats today. The seats don't change often. I imagine it's like football.
Yeah.
Like,
now, let me say this now, Joe. You've had the tendency to buck with those in charge. Like, is you saying y'all in a good situation now? That was something that you had to learn as you was coming of age, right?
Learn what?
How to be cool with the higher ups and not go to war with them, or did the respect come because you went to war with them?
I think both. I had to learn to be cool with niggas because I was an emotional 20-something-year-old. Period. And some of that respect comes from going back and forth with niggas. And if you maintain value or build value, there'll always be a reason to have a conversation.
Sure.
So, I mean, let me say that. I've done my part in probably maintaining a value and building value way longer than the music industry gave me. So I can there are conversations to be had with these people today. So, yeah, it's a little bit of all of that.
Yeah, and obviously podcasting has a lot to do with it. Now, I do have a question for you, Joe, kind of still in the same sense.
Give it to me.
Starting a business with your friends, right? Building that relationship and kind of as it grown, obviously, it's been highs and lows, valleys and peaks. Now at 44, looking back on the journeys that you went building those relationships with the people that, friendships or however y'all met, however long it was together, how do you feel like, looking back on it, how do you feel about that now?
What aspect of it?
I mean, just like
I'm appreciative.
Like
there's more positives than negatives. There are more positives than negatives for me. It's just when the negatives come, they will be seismic.
Yes.
It's like when you in love with a woman and y'all having a vibe and everything is a blast for the most part. But when there is the fight, it's like one of those.
Yeah, it's an explosion.
It's like a chess game. You met your match. It's on now. It's like one of those. So
looking back,
the risk is worth the reward for me.
Looking back, do you feel like there were any pitfalls or any stumbles that you could have sidestepped, or different things that you would have avoided? Like how like looking back on it?
I mean, I could have avoided. Oh shit! I want to rewind earlier. Hold up, I forgot to say something during this previous part. This is the other thing about me bucking the system at times, right? Like, what I learned from these white people in business, you could buck in business, and if there's a value, then everything is fine later on. Like, the white people could sit from across the negotiating table, say some shit that's foul to you or to one of them. And y'all, it's just negotiating, and y'all get through that, and then you continue to go on, you do business. And, like, it's only us that's like, when something foul is said or you go off course, it's like detrimental or the end of it. And other cultures, I ain't really seeing that. And I hate when niggas get on podcasts and talk about what other cultures do. But that's one of the things that we distracted by too much shit that's not really important.
You feel like that's like gatekeeping? Kind of like you got to stay in line, and as long as you play this role and you cool, then we'll let you ascend, we'll let you be on this path. But the moment that you feel like you jumping somebody in line, we got to kick you out?
Well, there's gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is a thing. I don't know if what I'm talking about is gatekeeping, but gatekeeping is a real thing.
Yeah, because Joe, like, I just correct me if I'm wrong. Like, kind of, you're speaking on in terms of doing business with our people.
Yeah, I'm just talking about people that are in business with each other. You should be able to do business with somebody that you don't necessarily like.
Yeah.
Somebody that maybe said something that you don't really agree with or rock with. Somebody that something happened in their past that you don't get along with. When it's the business first, the business is first. I'm saying that white people seem to do that great in what I'm seeing in the podcasting field.
Okay.
Like, them niggas will get there, get white spicy with each other, and then go right on and continue to do the business.
But is it
and
because
take care of things?
But is that because of like the foreshadowing after it? It's just kind of like, all right, yeah, we're negotiating, like we're pitting against each other because I know this will be successful, but I want to gain the most from this success. Because I don't think a lot of times that, if it makes sense, when we're dealing with each other, when we come to the table and just having negotiations, sometimes we don't even think that it's going to be successful. So that's why I feel like some African Americans just like, oh, you know what? Well, I'm going to fight for whatever I have here now.
Well, that's our first bad, and I'm never talking to them.
Okay.
To the people that have a plan that they don't believe in, my message is really never for them.
Right.
For the rest of them, though, that come to the table, for a lot of us, it's often our first time at the table or this type of table. I'm not talking about table like the white people metaphoric table. I just mean just a table where we dealing with the numbers that we dealing with today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that if you are shrewd in that moment with somebody that looks like you on the other side, I don't think it goes well. And I've had enough talks with black podcasters that are letting me know how their talks are going, trying to build a business with friends and just with shit. From Brandon Marshall, you can listen to him. It's a bunch of them out there. You can just listen to them tell a story. Everybody has a different version of where it went wrong and why it went wrong, but there are certain similarities. So I think that's just one of the first humps we need to get over. So you talking about me, when I look back on my shit, that was one of the humps that was there that I just did not know was there. If I were leaning on a Steve Stout or a Larry or somebody that had walked the path, I'm positive they could have gave me better direction. But I learned in real time. And I went through what I needed to go through in real time. I'm not mad at how nothing turned out, because you learn what you learn from it. And today I'm a better businessman because of it. Today, this cast, I joke with my cast today all the time. Oh, y'all got it great, boy. Because I used to be a maniac. Oh, you was late? Wait, why? Traffic? Who the fuck are you? Traffic? You couldn't have told me that back then. I lost my... Yeah, because I take shit so serious. Like when it's time to work, like I don't play about the work.
Agree.
My off time is preparing for the work. So if somebody else is playing around with the work, yeah, no. That ain't gonna bowl. That don't bowl well. That don't bowl well for me.